North Stars Hockey. Televised exclusively in the Twin Cities on KITN TV, Channel 29. Live from the arena, the Minnesota North Stars take on the St. Louis Blues in Game 3 of the Norris Division semifinal. Brought to you by Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi takes you where you want to be. Republic Airlines, the only airline that gives you perks. You've earned them. Your Twin Cities CarX shop, because CarX cares. Anderson Windows. Come home to quality. Come home to Anderson. Sprite, the great taste of Limon. And by Champion Auto Stores. From start to finish, you'll win with Champion Auto Stores.
After a grinding loss Wednesday in Game 1, the North Stars got the offense going on Thursday night. Led by Dennis Marut's hard work and 4 points, the North Stars scored 3 unanswered goals in the third period en route to a 6-2 win. This Norris Division semifinal series is now tied at a game apiece. Tonight, it's Game 3 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Minnesota North Stars and the St. Louis Blues, live on KITN TV, Channel 29. Hello again, everybody. Along with Wally Shaver, this is Frank Mazzacco. The Blues really suffocated the North Stars on Wednesday, allowing Minnesota to score just 1 goal. But Wally, 6 goals on Thursday night. Looks like the offense is rolling again.
Well, the offense is one of the key areas for Minnesota. Really, each team has 3 key areas that we want to concentrate on right now. Offense for Minnesota, a lot of coaches have told us that they are the second fastest team in the league behind Edmonton, and that's something Minnesota has to use to its advantage. A second point is that the North Stars are very well coached. Lorna Henning had a slow start, just as the team did, but a very, very strong finish, and it showed that the communication gap was getting through. And finally, Donnie Beaupre had a slow start in the season himself, but he finished up extremely strong, winning 22, losing 9, and tying 3 towards the tail end. For St. Louis, strong checking is their forte. They do not have the depth with their offensive lines. They need to rely on that defensive ability. They're a well-coached team as well. Jacques Demers has done an outstanding job with the talent that he's had on the team this year and going through some of the injuries he's had to cope with. And finally, the injuries for the St. Louis Blues took on a better meaning here in the playoffs, if you're a North Stars fan, that is. Sutter right here got into it with Willie Plett and re-injured a shoulder that kept him out for a good chunk of the regular season. Also out will be, or questionable at least right now, is Dave Barr. He was hit hard by Kurt Giles in Game 1. They may miss his good speed and the fact that he had his best season ever this past year.
Again, the North Stars and Blues get ready for this 3rd game of this playoffs. It's been a tough series, and it should be another tough game tonight. Back with the opening face-off right after this.
Referee for tonight's game is Dennis Morel, a native of Quebec City, 37 years old, in his 10th year, his 17 playoff games to his credit. The linesman will be Ron Asselstein, a native of Toronto, as is Leon Stickle, a native of Toronto. Both working the lines. Leon Stickle, in fact, will be having his 38th birthday coming up in just a couple of weeks. And in the nets, a change for the St. Louis Blues. Greg Millen is in the goal tonight. His 3.57 goals against average was the lowest of his NHL career this past season. And for the North Stars, Donnie Beaupre making his 3rd consecutive playoff start and his 6th start in the North Stars' last 7 games. And here we go for Game 3.
Neil Broughton is centering Dirk Graham and Brian Lawton, who's playing in his first playoff game and looking to get ignited here. He's bumped off the puck by Barr, and then it's cleared out. Dirk Graham has it. So Dave Barr is indeed playing for the Blues after that knee injury. Now a 3-on-2 Minnesota rush. Broughton in the slot, got it to Giles. The shot goes wide. Now it's centered by Lawton to Graham. And that shot was knocked down in front as Millen clears it away. Back to the blue line. Giles, now Roberts, and it hopped off his skate. Loose puck in front, a shot by Graham. A rebound is finally cleared away. Good opening pressure by the North Stars. Millen playing it away from Graham. As the North Stars begin to make a change on the go, Graham was wrestled down to the ice by Ramage. No penalty, but a face-off.
Other games tonight, we find Quebec at Hartford. Hartford having a chance to wrap up that series leading 2-0. Montreal has a chance to wrap up their series against Boston tonight, leading that 2-0. Philadelphia and the Rangers will go at it. Their series is squared at 1 apiece. Washington and the Islanders. Washington leading that series 2-0. Chicago at Toronto. The Leafs can wrap it up. And later on, Edmonton at Vancouver. Calgary at Winnipeg. Both Calgary and Edmonton can wrap them up tonight as well.
Now here's Bob Rouse in the corner. He's checked by LaValle. The loose puck lays at the side of the boards. Cleared by Rouse. Federico intercepts. Now poked loose by Bellows, and then he roughs it up with Bourgeois. Cleared ahead by Bruce Bell all the way down. They're going to wave off icing as Hartford ties up with Federico to the left of your screen. Now Rouse's pass got away from Nielsen, and it'll be icing against Minnesota. We've played 1 minute and 26 seconds. No score.
We take a look at Bruce Bell, acquired from Quebec for Gilbert Delorme back on October 2nd. Very consistent defenseman, plays hard all the time. I think if you could compare him to North Stars defenseman, he'd probably be a Kurt Giles type. Very consistent. North Stars having some good early pressure on. This was a shot by Graham. A lot of players trying to get in there for rebounds. Good action by Minnesota. All of this happening in the first minute of the period. Millen coming up with a strong test early. A lot of goaltenders, Frank, like that, and we know how valuable that is.
Here's a big save by Beaupre as he stopped Mark Reeds from about 10 feet out. Now Bjugstad playing it ahead to Broughton, who looks for Ciccarelli as this line is reunited after one shift. Now in the corner, Beaupre leaves it for Roberts. Chased out of there by Reeds. Broughton got it from Bjugstad. Sidesteps a check. Met at center ice by the St. Louis player Natras, who knocked it loose. Now Ron Wilson driving it into the corner. Reeds first man of the puck, trying to clear. Get some help from Mahar, who is dumped. No penalty there. Ciccarelli gets loose and shoots one. That's deflected high out of play.
Well, we talked earlier, Frank, about the strong defensive game that St. Louis has to play. We saw a great example of it in the first game of the series. Minnesota is getting themselves open. They're moving around very well. They're going to the openings, and we've seen a lot of shots taken here in the early going of this game.
Officially 2 of them on goal, but as you mentioned, they are shooting, and it is a confident lot of North Stars that we're watching in the opening 2 minutes here.
I tell you, these guys are loose. You should have heard them this morning at the game day practice, folks. You whooping it up, carrying on in the dressing room like a bunch of peewee hockey players.
Now Ramage carries it to center. He threads the needle, put it right on a Ronning stick. Ronning got it to Gilmore, and his shot was less than a foot wide. Pavis and Plett collide, much to the delight of the fans here. Now Pavis clearing it away, and Giles picks it up. Now to Tony McKegney off his skate, and it's cleared right back out. Here's Doug Gilmore. He's been hot against Minnesota, finds Hunter, and a block there by Beaupre. Now Beaupre covers up, and we'll have a face-off. Live from the arena. It's the Norris Division semifinals, but we'll hold it here for a second. Well, you can't let up even after a whistle in this series.
Davey Langevin getting into it with Mark Hunter after play had already stopped. Cliff Ronning and Keith Acton pushing away at each other. That would be an even match. They're both 5'7". No, funny story about Cliff Ronning. Well, we'll go to commercial and tell it when we come back.
All right, they've got them separated. We'll be back in a moment. Live from the St. Louis Arena, it's the Norris Division semifinals on KITN TV, Channel 29. Apparently, 2 North Stars are going to be sent off here, Wally.
Here's what happened down at the side of the Minnesota goal. You see Hunter coming in and starting to mix it up right away with Langevin.
Langevin gets a roughing penalty, Plett a cross-checking penalty, and Hunter a double minor for roughing. So what looked like a St. Louis power play coming up is still a 5-on-5 situation.
To take a look at Dale Hunter serving the penalty time. He led the Blues in scoring this year with 44 goals.
He led them in goal scoring. Fedorko, of course, is a point leader.
Jacques Demers, a very enthusiastic man, has got his team playing very consistent hockey. They have played pretty much the same style all year long.
Nielsen, Marouk, Bellows up front for Minnesota as they face the Fedorko line. It's knocked away by Rouse. Fedorko has it. Fedorko's led the Blues in scoring 7 straight years. Here's Bellows shooting, but it's offside. And we'll have a face-off back at center. We've played just under 3 minutes. No score.
Brian Bellows coming down that right wing side. Just barely offside. Bellows, who earlier this year had a 20-game streak of picking up points. 4th longest in the NHL, a new record for North Stars.
LaValle, Fedorko, and Pozlowski, who is seeing his first action, cuts loose and then didn't get all of the shot, pushed it wide. LaValle throwing it back around the horn. It's loose to Pozlowski. He's wrestled down by Hartsburg, and a crushing body check by LaValle, who knocked down Marouk. Now Nielsen in over the line. Centers it for Marouk. Shallow angle shoot. Kicked out by Millen. And the rebound of Fedorko. Bernie Fedorko, number 24 for the Blues. Tries to get around Rouse, and he's pinned up against the boards. LaValle is bumped by Hartsburg, but Hartsburg gets the puck. Rifles it around. Bourgeois. Slap shot pad saved by Beaupre. And Marouk turns it around in a hurry. 4-man Minnesota break. Pass a bit too far for Nielsen, and they'll change on the fly. Loose puck to Marouk on the backhand. And Millen covers up.
Great effort by Denis Marouk as he came in along the boards. Got the puck loose right there. Came out in front and got the backhand shot off. Millen holding his ground very well. Notice how he kept his legs together, moving across from his right to his left as Marouk was trying to hit that spot. Watch the shot going right between the legs. Millen squeezes the pads and covers up the rebound.
Broughton, Ciccarelli, and Bukestad out again. Now Natras has it for the Blues. Pass intercepted by Bukestad. Now to Broughton, shooting, looking for the corner, but it was kicked out neatly by Millen. Now Ciccarelli behind the net. Tied up by Natras. Ron Wilson plays it back to Ciccarelli. He centers it. Wilson a shot, and a stick save by Millen. And cleared out by Reeds. It got away from Roberts, and he's being challenged by Cavallini. Cavallini playing in his first playoff game. Gino Cavallini has it in the corner. Now a shot by Mahar skips right through. Natras playing it right back. Here's Roberts. Now to Bukestad. Tipping it to Neil Broughton. North Stars scoring leader for the regular season is checked by Mahar. Jammed up against the boards on the far side by Norwood. And the Blues have it. Here's Mahar to center. Flipping it in for a St. Louis line change. Now here's Roberts. Turning it right back, getting it to Tony McKegney. McKegney with 1 goal in the playoffs, shoots one into the corner. And it rebounds back to the Blues. From center ice, they flip it in. Giles intercepts, clears it out, and hit Ramage. Acton goes after the loose puck. McKegney's in front, but Pavis cleared it away. And it's grabbed by Barr at center. Slap shot high over the crossbar. Kept alive by Beers, and then taken away by Acton. Acton with Graham and McKegney to the St. Louis line. Back to the point for Hartsburg. Centering it. Knocked down by Ramage, who knocks the puck free. And McKegney takes it away. Now Dirk Graham at the side is jammed up by Beers. McKegney to Hartsburg. Back to McKegney. Slap shot. Mile wide, and it rebounds to center. Here's McKegney again. Very few stoppages here in the first period. It's been an intense game. Bell clearing it out. Hartsburg waits for the zone to clear, has to drop it to Rouse, ahead to Graham as the Stars change. Graham flips it in, scooped up by Millen, and he drops it to Bruce Bell. Shooting it around for Reeds. Off the skate of Bellows, Marouk goes after it, whacks it into the corner. Now Bell and Nielsen. Bell drives it around. Reeds jammed up on the boards neatly by Marouk. Roberts' shot deflected, and it comes back to Reeds, leading a 3-man break, but the pass to Gilmore failed to click. Now here's Roberts, watched by Mark Reeds. What a period of checking. It comes back to center ice. Bourgeois, first man to it. Big Charlie Bourgeois dropping it back to his partner Norwood. Now to Gilmore at center. Checked by Bellows. Pass picked off by Nielsen. Dropped it to Roberts, who had to clear it away. Now Rouse to Bellows again. Backhand pass knocked down and intercepted by Federko. That was intended for Kent Nielsen. Here's Bourgeois again at the Minnesota line. Got it to Federko. Back to Bourgeois. He's checked by Roberts. Now in the corner, Nielsen and LaValle batter. Grabbed by Federko in front of Kozlowski. A backhand.
Play started in the corner as Kevin LaValle checked. Nielsen. It was centered out in front. Kozlowski spun around Roberts, and a good backhand shot along the ice, beating goaltender Don Beaupre. As you see, Kozlowski getting himself loose, but good forechecking by the Blues created that one, and they take the first lead in the game.
Here's Ron Wilson back in his own end, clearing it out to center. Natras has it. Now Reeds is checked by Broughton, but play is called out at center ice. Apparently a stick above the shoulder. With the score, the Blues 1, the North Stars nothing. We'll be back in a moment.
Greg Kozlowski gets the goal. Bernie Federko, the lone assist at 7:09, but give a lot of credit on that scoring play to Kevin LaValle as he tied up Kent Nielsen, digging the puck loose, forcing Federko to make the pass. Doc Rose now, you see at the end here, going off the ice with Brian Bellows. We don't know the extent of the problem, but I'll try and find out in the first intermission when we go downstairs to talk with Gordie Roberts.
Broughton's line is on again. And again, he's being checked by Mahar, number 22. It's kind of like a set of bookends there, except for the color of their jerseys. Mahar has followed Broughton every step of the way thus far and held Neil to 1 assist in the first 2 games.
In fact, there was a lot of comment that when the guys got into town here last night, when Broughton was going out for dinner last night, whether or not Mahar was going to join him.
You made that up.
1-0 Blues lead, but I would have to say that the North Stars have had a definite advantage in good scoring opportunities. Greg Millen, seeing his first playoff action for the Blues, has held the Stars at bay.
Blues get it in the zone, then they jam up forward. It squirts free to Bjugstad, trying to break free. Reed's right on top of him. Then he played it to the line, but Ciccarelli picked it up outside the zone. Now Hartsburg throwing it back for Ron Wilson, who had to tip it away from Cavallini. Now Mahar has it. Goes down, no penalty, and it's cleared right back out. Ciccarelli looking for Broughton. That failed to click. Now it's grabbed by Ron Wilson. For Broughton, the pass was picked off by Mahar. He drops it back to Cavallini. 60-foot slap shot blocked by Beaupre. Bjugstad throwing it to center. Cavallini intercepts. Could not shoot it in. It had been offside. Now he's checked. And gets loose. This is running. Oh, a sensational glove save by Beaupre. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on the Minnesota North Star Hockey Network.
At the top of your screen, Gino Cavallini was checked, but young Cliff Ronning picked up the puck and whistled a shot that Beaupre had to make a spear-like action with his glove to prevent a 2-0 score.
Now Keith Acton to face off. Draw to the Blues. Ronning is checked by McKegney, and here comes Willie Plett with Acton and McKegney. Back to Acton. He goes after it in the corner with Pavis. Taken to the boards. Plett checks Gilmore. McKegney tried to knock it loose, and sticks are up high. Acton cutting in front. Shot deflected. McKegney goes after it, but it was cleared away. Blues 3-on-2. Gilmore carrying it in. Checked away by McKegney. Acton has it. Hunter goes right after him. Now to Kurt Giles. Throwing it ahead for McKegney, but it got away. It would have been offside had he crossed the line. Gilmore. Now to Rob Ramage. Ramage shooting it in, turned aside by Beaupre. Giles has it as the Blues have changed on the fly. Plett checked at center ice by Beers. Oh, there's going to be a penalty here. Now Beers gets his stick on the puck. And a high sticking penalty coming up.
Willie Plett will get the penalty, Frank. He retaliated after the check and slashed Beers across the back. And that will put the North Stars in the hole as Plett picks up the first penalty of the game that'll leave a team shorthanded.
We're in the middle of the first period. It's the Blues 1, the North Stars nothing.
Willie Plett led the North Stars with 231 penalty minutes this year. He has 4 of them here tonight, the recent 2 coming for high sticking at 9:24.
So a struggling St. Louis power play gets underway for the first power play of the game. Here's Federko. Pass picked off by Nielsen. Nielsen throwing it all the way down. The Blues are 0 for 8 on the power play in the series, and if you go back to the last 3 regular season games against Minnesota, at least, they're only 2 of 24 on the power play. Here's Barr. Now to Federko. Ramage at the blue line. Slap shot saved by Beaupre. It's loose and cleared out by Nielsen. And now a penalty coming up on North Star player Roberts. He interfered or roughed a St. Louis player in the crease, and the Blues will have a 2-man advantage. And now Acton is trying to get Eddie Beers off the ice on a penalty.
There was 3 North Stars going after Beers. Beers had planted himself in front of the Minnesota net, was whacking away at Beaupre. That's when Roberts took exception and threw a punch at Beers. Meanwhile, Beers has kept the cool head of the whole situation, and the Blues, because of that, will find themselves now with a 2-man advantage. Roberts going off for roughing at 10:36. And the Blues will have that 2-man advantage for the next minute and 8 seconds before Willie Plett returns. Big chance now for St. Louis, who lead 1-0 on a goal by Greg Paslowski. Watch the action right in front. Number 19 is Paslowski as he buries himself right in there, battling away with Beaupre. The loose puck was just cleared. Now watch as they start standing up. There's Rouse throwing a punch. And then after that, Roberts threw one as well.
So for a minute and 8 seconds, if the Blues need it, they'll have a 2-man advantage. They lead in the game 1-0. We're in the midway part of period 1. Federko, Hunter, and Beers up front for the Blues. Minnesota penalty killers are Acton, Langevin, and Giles. Now here's Federko. Dropping it back to Ramage, throwing it across for Beers, and the centering pass got away from Federko. Here's Ramage. Back to Norwood at the point. Over to Ramage again. Centers it. Hunter was robbed by Beaupre.
Oh, what a great save. Hunter can't believe it. He had all kinds of room, was perfectly set up by Rob Ramage.
A 2-man power play for the St. Louis Blues, who lead in this one 1-0 midway through the first period. And what a save by Donnie Beaupre.
Rob Ramage breaking in from the right point, saw his man out in front, Federko. Hunter, a beautiful effort, but Don Beaupre down on his rear came up with a huge save. The Blues still leading 1-0.
Boy, Wally, you mentioned in our open that Beaupre is hot, and he has been hot here. He's already faced 10 St. Louis shots. Now Kurt Giles. Acton breaking at center ice. Looks like he wants a shorthanded goal there, but the pass got away from him. Now Norwood has it. Still 30 seconds left on that first penalty to Willie Plett. Here's Norwood. Pass got away from Hunter, and it's cleared out easily by Langevin. St. Louis Blues in the power play have just 4 of their last 38 chances overall. Playoffs and regular season included. Here's Ramage now. Throwing it back in Giles. Easy for him to clear it, and he does. Willie Plett will be on in 2 seconds. Now 52 seconds left on the penalty to Roberts. Here's Federko breaking right in. Centers it. Acton cleared it away for Durko to Ramage. A shot. Broken up by Kurt Giles.
So allow a wholesale change for the North Stars as they get a fresh penalty killing unit out with still a half-minute remaining in Roberts' time.
Nielsen, Graham up front. Rouse and Hartsburg are back. Gilmore 2-on-1. Centered it for Pozlowski, but Pozlowski was in too deep, and the goal apparently has come loose.
Came loose when Pozlowski ran into it. The whistle blew. I think the officials realized that maybe it was loose. But it wasn't.
Indeed not. I don't know, I thought Pozlowski caught in there a little bit too deep, Wally.
He should have hung back a bit because Gilmore was going in and going in and going in. Give some good credit to the North Stars on that 2-on-1. The defenseman on the play who backed in all the way, played the pass more so than the shooter, and left the shooter for goaltender Don Beaupre, and as it turned out, became a muffled play.
I believe that was Hartsburg going back. Still 26 seconds left on the penalty to Roberts. Blues leading 1-0 with 8 minutes left in the first period. Now Bourgeois at center. Was cracked pretty good by Graham. Here's Bell. Stick saved by Beaupre, and Hartsburg clears the rebound. Hartsburg playing it ahead for Graham. Graham checked by Bourgeois. Hangs on to it. Oh, a pass nearly found Nielsen, and that would have been a clean-cut breakaway. Roberts back on. Gilmore checked by Rouse. Bourgeois centers it. Actually shot, but he was checked, and Hartsburg cleared it away. Roberts quarterbacking this 3-on-2, then dumped it off, but the North Stars were changing. Good penalty killing by the North Stars, and boy, have they been strong in that department. Here's Gilmore throwing it across, picked up by Ciccarelli. At the line with Bukestad. Checked by Bell, and the shot was stopped by Millen. Ciccarelli is put down, and the North Stars will go to a power play with a chance to tie this game. North Stars hockey comes to you from St. Louis on KITN-TV, Channel 29. Run.
Cliff Ronning, number 7 for the Blues, will pick up a penalty. Bukestad stopped here. Dino going for the rebound was tripped by Cliff Ronning. And at 12:47, Minnesota will have their first power play chance of the game.
Blues clear it all the way down. Will set the power play unit. Broughton, Ciccarelli, Bukestad up front. Nielsen, Hartsburg back on the points. No surprises with that alignment. Here's Nielsen. Driving it in. Comes loose to Broughton in the corner, but it got away from him. Bukestad trailing picked it up. Norwood knocked it loose. Here's Ciccarelli. A backhand hit the outside of the net. Broughton centering it. Broken up by Norwood again and cleared out. Now Hartsburg goes back with 90 seconds on the manpower advantage. 6:30 to go in the first period. North Stars power play in the regular season was ranked 6th overall. Here's Ron Wilson. Now to Hartsburg and to Ciccarelli. Hartsburg to Ciccarelli again. A minute on the power play. Off a skate, but Bukestad has it. Plays it to Broughton. He's chased by Norwood. Got it back to Hartsburg. Flipping it to Ciccarelli, who tips it into the corner. Norwood trying to clear it out. Got it to Reeds. Taken away by Hartsburg, who is checked. Good effort by Reeds, who clears it.
Reeds, known as a defensive specialist, did an outstanding job in warding off that long, rangy reach of Greg Hartsburg.
Now Ron Wilson with a half-minute on the power play. Marouk, Lawton, and Plett are up front, and Ron Wilson drives it in. Hartsburg remains on the left point here. Waits for the puck, shoots. It hit Plett in front, and Bourgeois cleared it away, but not out. Ron Wilson. Now to Lawton in front to Marouk. A slap shot. Deflects high over the crossbar. Boy, he got all of that one. Now Marouk lost it, or rather Lawton lost it. A delayed penalty on the Blues here. I think it's on the Blues.
It is. Doug Wickenheiser took a good whack at Brian Lawton as he was coming up along the boards there. And that's exactly as you saw the signal from referee Dennis Morrell on what Wickenheiser is going in for. Watch along the boards. 14's Wickenheiser. Whack. That's a good slash. 14-41, the time of the penalty for slashing. North Stars are going to have to continue this power play without the services of Brian Bellows. He has been sent to Jewish Hospital here in St. Louis for x-rays to a rib injury.
6 seconds remain on the penalty to Ronning, so the North Stars will have a 2-man advantage for that brief period of time. As you look at Lorne Henning pacing behind the Minnesota bench. Dennis Maruk tied for the lead in scoring after 2 playoff games in the National Hockey League. He has 5 points on 2 goals and 3 assists. And he also is the plus-minus leader at a +6. Well, fans interested in North Stars season tickets for next year can call the North Stars sales office at 853-9340. A $75 non-refundable deposit gives you priority seating for next year and the opportunity to buy this year's playoff tickets. Call the North Stars sales office for more information. Power play. Rob Broughton trying to center it. Here's Lawton in the corner. Now to Maruk. Penalty to Ronning is over. It's 5-on-4. A shot and a goal by Broughton. And the North Stars have tied this game at 1-1.
Broughton very neatly broke in from the point position. And that centering pass was right on his stick. And before you could have time to blink, it was in the net. Very quick play. That's the way to do it. You can't hesitate when you get a chance like that in front of the net. And Broughton didn't, letting it go before Gilmore can move in to check him. North Stars tying it up 1-1 on Neil Broughton's playoff power play goal, the first point for anybody on that line in this playoff series. Give St. Louis a lot of credit there, folks, because they've done an admirable job in containing the Broughton line. Okay, I'm wrong. He got an assist.
I didn't say anything. So Broughton now with a goal and an assist, but
rub it in, okay.
Glad you take that well. Here's Giles, checked by Beers. Graham bumped, dropping it back, picked off by Wickenheiser, who's checked but shoots anyway. It went wide. Bourgeois roughs it up with McKegney, and then they go at it. McKegney really taking quite a few of Bourgeois' punches right now. Tell you what, Tony McKegney is one strong cookie, and he really let Bourgeois have a couple of them right there. Not a fighter, but he is strong. Bourgeois goes off, and McKegney will follow. I'm surprised Bourgeois wasn't bloodied. It looked like he took one square in the nose.
Well, he landed about 4 or 5 really good ones to Tony right off the bat, but Tony hung in there, got the head down, and just threw out the right jabs. Good job by Tony McKegney as he came back to even up that fight. He goes off the ice. There's a lot of North Star fans right there. Give him the high five, Tony. We'll be back as our first period excitement from St. Louis Arena continues after this short pause. 15-13, the time of the penalties. McKegney and Bourgeois each get 5 for fighting, but Bourgeois got an extra 2-minute minor for roughing. So the North Stars move on to their 3rd power play of the game. The score's tied 1-1.
Here's Kent Nielsen back for it. That power play goal by Broughton, by the way, was the first power play goal of this series. Both teams have been offers in that department. Hartsburg goes back for it. The North Stars had been 0 for 7 in the 2 games. St. Louis 0 for 8. Here's Ciccarelli. Not a Neil Broughton, but it got away from him. Tangled up there with Mahar, and then it's cleared out by Ramage. 90 seconds to go on the penalty to the Blues player. Bourgeois, that's being served by Ronning. Nielsen shot it in, then Ramage gave him a shot to the head, and the puck is cleared out. Well, we're going to see a lot of late hits. We're going to see a lot of holding on. We're going to see a lot of stick work tonight. That's the way the series has been.
That's the way St. Louis has to play it, tight to the vest. They've been keeping particular attention to Neil Broughton, who has been followed, as mentioned earlier, very, very closely by Rick Mahar. But they forgot about Dennis Maruk, who's out on the ice right now to take the next face-off for the North Stars. Pee-wee has had an outstanding playoff series. Not only is he tied for leadership in points, but he is +6, which is the highest in the National Hockey League after the first 2 playoff games.
From the face-off, the puck is underneath Gilmore, and will do it again.
Russ Courtnall has scored for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have taken a 1-0 lead early in their contest against the Hawks. The amazing story there that the Hawks are behind 2-0. They can be eliminated with a loss tonight.
Murray Bannerman back in the nets for Chicago. Now it's cleared away by Pavis with 1:05 on the North Star power play. Here's Willie Plett to Dennis Maruk to Ron Wilson. Sidestepping the check of Gilmore, whips it over to Maruk. Plett knocked down in front by Ramage, no penalty. Maruk playing it back to Ron Wilson. Now to Maruk again. And Plett roughs it up with Ramage, and they're both going to go. Oh, what a shot by Willie Plett to Ramage.
Willie's going right over to talk to Morrell now. Willie's got a very good beat here. He was bowled over in front as Ramage was working him over pretty good. And Morrell let that all go. And Willie, just out of frustration, threw a punch at Ramage. I think they're going to come out even right here. But with that one extra punch Willie threw, it could cost him an extra minor.
Plett is going to the penalty box. So is Ramage. I had a feeling that one of them was going to be tossed out for the balance of the period, at least, judging by the way Morrell was gesturing. Let's see if we can pick up the call here.
Penalty to number 5, Rob Ramage. 2 minutes each for high sticking. Time of the penalty, 16:26.
Watch it in front as they get sticks up a little high. And you heard the penalty calls from the PA announcer here.
Smack.
16:26, the time of these penalties. It's the third time in this period that we've had players from both teams going off for penalties. Still 47 seconds remaining in that minor to Charlie Bourgeois.
Channel 29 has the largest feature film library of any Minnesota TV station. That means starting in May, you'll see some of Hollywood's best. On Golden Pond, a couple of Hitchcock classics, The Trouble with Harry and Rope, and The Omen. Watch for them on KITN TV, The Kitten That Roars. I still can't do it as well as Bob Lang, but we're working on it. Ron Wilson, now to Neil Broughton, centering it, loose puck in front, a shot by Maruk, never went in. Wilson to Maruk, a shot and a goal.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. And Maruk did the same thing. How that first shot, Frank, ever stayed out is beyond my belief, but it went off the goalpost, right back out in front, and then the North Stars worked it from there. Watch the action. There's the first try as Maruk comes out in front. Clink off the goal stick of Millen. He sweeps it right back out in front. That was not a very smart play by the goaltender. Now the pass back to the left, and this time Maruk made no mistake. And Millen, I'm sure, is kicking himself for that play. When he could have covered up, he threw it right back up the slot.
Maruk from Rouse and Cicerelli at 16:38. The North Stars lead 2-1 on 2 power play goals. Now Acton carrying it in. Checked by LaValle, but hangs on to it. Acton centers it. Everybody's covered. And at the blue line, Hartsburg keeps it in. Good hustle by Hartsey. Now Graham. Knocked down, but centers it. And it's cleared away by Kozlowski. Here comes Bell. Checked by Nielsen. Got it to LaValle. Hartsburg breaks it up. Acton then drops it back to Rouse. Now to Dirk Graham. Nice pass to Acton, but penalties back at center ice. Graham and LaValle are likely to both go here.
Let's catch you up on the 2 Minnesota goals. Broughton, first of all, from Maruk and Lawton at 14:52, a power play. A minute and a half later, Maruk scoring his 3rd playoff goal from Rouse and Cicerelli at 16:38. Dennis Maruk now has 7 points in 3 games.
Well, you'll have a chance to talk to Lorne Henning about the outstanding play of Dennis Maruk, particularly in Game 2, which was Thursday night at the Met Center. Boy, what a brilliant third period he had.
Now Rouse is off for cross-checking at 17:17, putting the Blues on their 3rd power play opportunity.
Well, I think I'm going to have to read the rule book again on referee signals. Morrell, I swear, was waving off 2 players, but I guess that doesn't matter, does it? Rouse is the only one to go. Just change the scorecard here and everything will be just fine. Keith Acton to face off. Another big penalty kill for the North Stars. They killed a two-man advantage by the Blues of 1 minute and 8 seconds earlier. And the fans begin a staccato chant here. Here's Bell. Throwing it back around for Norwood. Graham right in after him. Hunter goes after it. He's gone a long while without a goal. 11 regular season and 2 playoff games. The Blues are stymied in their own end. Hunter lost it at center. Langevin now playing it to Giles, who threw it ahead. It hit the linesman Asselstein, and it's grabbed by Bell. Firing it into the corner. Minute 20 to go on the St. Louis power play. Loose on the far side to Giles. He's tied up by Ronning. Bell keeps it in. A shot sails wide. Now Norwood cutting in. Lee Norwood whips it behind the net to Federko. He'll try to stuff it in. Broken up neatly by Giles and cleared by Bjugstad.
Good safe play by Scott. Is he just a long backhand shot down the ice?
Minute to go on the penalty to Rouse. Minute 30 to go in the period. Now Ronning turning back. Here's Natras. Ahead to Dave Barr. Back to Bell. Sidesteps Acton. Carries it to the Minnesota line. Dropped it back, and it's taken away by Acton. The North Stars shutting the Blues down at the blue line. A half minute to go on the Rouse penalty. Here's Natras again. Former Montreal Canadian player. Nearly lost it, but gets it to Barr. Then Barr throws it into the corner. Gilmore. Checked by Hartsburg. Hartsburg cleared it, and Bjugstad gets it out of the zone. With a minute to go in the period, 15 to go in the penalty to Rouse. Natras. It got away from Barr, and Roberts has it. Barr got it back, then lost it. Pavis picks it up. Threw it ahead on the wing for LaValle, but it got away. Hartsburg in front of the net begins a rush as Rouse steps on, but it's swept away by LaValle. No offside here, they say. Barr back to LaValle for a shot that goes wide. Here's Natras shooting a stick save by Beaupre. Now Gilmore behind the net. Centers it, broken up by Beaupre and cleared by Kent Nielsen. 20 seconds to go in the period. North Stars make a change. Natras playing it ahead to LaValle, who shoots it in. Langevin whacks at it, and it hops over the glass out of play with 12 seconds left in the period. As you look at North Stars' Dave Langevin. Boy, has he solidified the North Star defense this year. A steady kind of defenseman. You're not going to see him making any outstanding flashy plays, but he doesn't have to because he's playing positionally very well. And if you get your body in the right place at the right time, you've got more than half the battle won. 12 seconds left in the period. They'll face it off in the circle between Broughton and Wickenheiser. Leon Stickle, the linesman, drops the puck. The draw to the Blues. Pizlowski in the slot, checked by Broughton, kept it in. Cicerelli gets it out, and that should wipe out the period here. 2 seconds left. So the North Stars, after having given up the first goal of the game, come back to score 2 power play goals and lead this one at the end of 2 periods at the end of 1 period by a score of 2-1. A good effort by the North Stars. It looked like the Blues wanted to open up, so the North Stars said they would oblige and quickly scored those 2 goals. Coming up in our intermission, Wally Shaver will have a chance to talk with North Star defenseman Gordie Roberts and Lorne Henning, the coach of the North Stars. Wally and Lorne will be analyzing some of the action from the first 2 games of this series. Shots on goal for the period, the Blues 12, the North Stars 12, and at the end of 1, it's Minnesota 2, the Blues 1.
Don't want to talk too much about it, but I was rather surprised at the low attendance figures we had for those 2 games, especially since Detroit sold out for the final regular season game. Now, I know there's a lot of riding on that with a possibility of first place, but fans have been great all season long. But, you know, this is a big time, and the guys really need you behind them at this time of year.
I was just being selfish. I just wanted to do another TV game Tuesday night.
Yeah, let's...
It'd be great to do another game from the Met Center, wouldn't it?
Sure would.
Old home week again. All right, second period underway. couple of penalties still in effect. Rouse and rather Ramage and Plett are still off, but we're 5 skaters aside on the ice. Here's Lawton centering it for Broughton, but it hopped away from him. Again, Broughton is working with Lawton and Graham on this forward line. Blues work it into the Minnesota end. Roberts clearing it right back onto the stick of Dirk Graham. Hits the Blues line, fakes, got it to Broughton, back to Graham. He fanned on it.
Oh! He fanned on it, but Millen went for that fake all the way, and if he didn't get his glove out there, that puck would have slid about 2 miles an hour into the net. Greg Millen committing himself extremely early on that play by Graham. Graham could have had an option to throw it back as well to Broughton, who you see open in the slot. And there's another North Star moving in from the left side. Well, that was Dino. I guess he was a little bit too late, but or too deep on that particular play, but almost a very costly error for Greg Millen.
Rebroadcast or reproduction of this telecast is illegal without the written consent of the NHL, the Minnesota North Stars, and KITN TV, Channel 29. Now Pizlowski has the Blues' lone goal, shooting it wide of the target. Norwood playing it back behind the net. Pizlowski tries to stuff it in, and it was cleared out by Hartsburg. Now Nielsen to center ice. Got it to Maruk, but it was checked away by Natras, and as it was offside.
Ran into Don Miller on the trip downstairs, Frank, and just as we're handed this note here, but Brian Bellows had gone to the hospital here in St. Louis for x-rays on his ribs. They proved to be negative, and it just turns out to be a bruised right shoulder, and there's a good chance that Brian is going to be back in this hockey game tonight.
That'd be a remarkable story. Oh. We played just 48 seconds of the second period, and the North Stars lead this one 2-1. Here's Norwood behind the net. Willie Plett out front. Maruk and Nielsen, the other wingers. Now Rouse takes it away from Fedorko and hands it away to Pizlowski. Pizlowski circles the net. Boy, he took a pretty good whack from Rouse. Pizlowski in the corner, whips it back to Pavis. Wrist shot broken up by Plett. Rouse still tangled up with LaValle this time, but is able to get it out. Now Natras challenged by Nielsen over to Pavis. Got away from LaValle. There might be icing here. Hartsburg will touch it and will go in the St. Louis end for a faceoff.
One thing we're going to have to see from the Blues, Frank, is a little more scoring out of their big players. Bernie Fedorko has 1 goal in the playoffs, but their leading goal scorer, Mark Hunter, who had 44 in the regular season, had 0. Doug Gilmour, who had 25 goals, does have 2, but Ron Flockhart has yet to score a goal. Pazlowski finally got 1 tonight, but in playoff competition, you really need your big guns to come through for you.
Now it's shot around by Pavis. Then he was checked by Acton. Ron Wilson sends one through. That skips into the corner. Broughton picks off a pass. What a nifty play by Broughton. Then as he shoots, he's taken down, and the Blues clear it out to center. Boy, what a nice play by Broughton. Here's Wilson. Throwing it ahead for Cicerelli. Dufar. Ramage has it. Cleared it to the line. It finally dribbled out to Cavallini. Former Calgary Flame had it knocked off his stick by Ron Wilson. It brought in by Mahar. He was checked. Here's Bukestad in the corner. Scott Bukestad tied up, but he's still able to get it out of the zone. A 2-1 lead against the Blues is not a comfortable margin by any means. This is a tenacious hockey team, and they are not going to give up until the final horn. Here's a centering pass, but it's a 2-line offside against St. Louis. Live from the arena, it's the Norris Division semifinals on KITN TV, Channel 29.
North Stars leading 2-1 on goals by Broughton and Maruk. We talked, Frank, about how St. Louis's big guns have to get going, and you need that performance out of your top players. The North Stars need it from Bukestad, Cicerelli, and Broughton.
Now Acton being checked by Norwood. He centers it for Graham. Millen pokes it loose. Finally, they get a whistle. The puck looked like it was buried there.
Looked like a rugby scrum going on down there with 3 or 4 players on their hands and knees trying to get it loose.
I think one of the keys of this game thus far is the power play situation. The specialty teams, I think it's pretty apparent the North Stars only 2 goals have both been on the power play. But if the Blues were going to play a physical game, which the North Stars expected, the North Stars were going to expect to get some power play chances, which they'd have to capitalize on. That could be the difference in the series.
It was amazing, too, to find out that this was the only playoff series out of all 8 that had no power play goals scored through the first 2 games.
Here's Natras in the corner. Got it to Gilmore. He's checked by McKegney. Now Giles throwing it back to Langevin. Out to Keith Acton. And they bring it in offside, and you see Dirk Graham looking for a penalty call. I suppose we should stop wondering about when those whistles are going to blow.
We've got some hellos to pass along, but specifically to our Channel 29 winner of the North Stars Player of the Year Award. Brad Kaler is here along with Marty Malinsky. Brad wants to say hi to the softball team, hi to Bruce and the Renegade softball team. He asked me if I wanted to play on that team this year, so I guess I'm going to join the Renegades. Sounds like a good squad.
It'll fit your personality just fine.
Yeah. Marty wants to pass on hellos to Brian and Jenny and also to Nancy and Amber. I hope I got all those names right. I wrote them down on the bus. It was a pretty jerky ride coming in.
It's been a real treat for Brad, to say the least, on this trip. A shot by Bell there goes high out of play.
Josh and Craig Kriebik want to say hi to Lindy at home. Craig Kriebik won the Stars at Your Service dinner for the March of Dimes back in early March. And
another successful event.
Yes, very successful. That event raised over $13,000 for the March of Dimes when the North Stars players waited on tables.
Penalty box is empty here. Early in the second period, and the North Stars lead 2-1. Nielsen to Rouse. Slap shot. Millen comes up with a fine glove save. Now Bourgeois and Marouk, a bit of a mismatch in size there, but they jaw away at one another.
Greg Millen living up to the task of a pressure situation starting assignment in tonight's game. Notice, folks, that he's different than most goaltenders in the fact that he has a left-handed stick hand and catches with his right hand. Most goaltenders are the reverse.
Brian Bellows has just skated back onto the ice. Got some assistance from Doc Rose and is just making his way onto the North Star bench right now.
Good to see Brian back. We'll have to watch and see what kind of playing time he's going to get from this point on. He no doubt has some sore ribs and shoulder, and he may be limited from that standpoint.
I tell you, he got some excellent service at the hospital to be back already. Not to mention his own courage in coming back. Now Beers, checked by Marouk. It's centered by Marouk. Pletz rebound, hit Ramage. Nielsen a blast, a goal! It wasn't a blast at all, but it got past Millen, and the North Stars lead 3-1.
That's the old changeup, as you see a rowdy group of North Star fans who have made the jaunt down here to St. Louis and enjoying the summer-like 75-degree weather that we had here today. And at 3:27, the North Stars go up 3-1. Good forechecking by the Stars, keeping the puck loose. Willie Pletz's drive was blocked out in front by Ramage, but Nielsen screamed in. Tried a hard shot, but he whiffed on it. Millen thought the hard shot was going to come, and it never did. Instead, Nielsen picks up the goal, and the North Stars pick up a 2-goal lead.
And another point now for Dennis Marouk. He picked up the second assist on that. Willie Plett also got an assist. So for Pee Wee Marouk, a goal and 2 assists tonight to add to his total. 3-1, the North Stars lead. Here's Neil Broughton throwing it to center ice. Natras redirecting it. Got away from Reeds. Now Ron Wilson whacks it loose. Cicerelli has it. Slides it to Bukestad. A beautiful drop pass. Broughton 2-on-1. Ron Wilson, a shot went wide. And Broughton is crushed against the boards, but comes out of it all right. Here's Ron Wilson. Sidesteps a check. Roberts to Ron Wilson. Centering it. Broken up by Reed. Cicerelli drives one through. And it's grabbed by Cavallini. Ahead to Reeds off his stick at center ice. Now picked up by Cavallini. He got it in. Roberts in turn intercepts. Roberts got it to Broughton, who tips it in for a line change. Now Norwood out from behind his own net. To Reeds and to Fedorko. Fedorko checked. Marouk takes it away. Marouk got some help from Langevin, who tied up Fedorko there. Now here's Bellows back on the ice. Into the corner it goes. Batted around by Bell. Bourgeois has it. They jam up for it. And that's where they freeze it.
Nielsen's first goal of the playoffs. Plett Marook assisting at 3:27. As you see, Brian Bellows back on the ice for the North Stars. He left at about the 5-minute mark in the opening period. Went to the hospital here in St. Louis for x-rays. We thought it was some cracked ribs, but apparently he's got a bruised shoulder. The x-ray is negative. He's back in the action. A great play by Broughton feeding Ronnie Wilson. Millen sliding across, making the save. Look at the crunch that Broughton takes here from both Cavallini and his shadow, Rick Mahar.
Here's Federko. It hopped off his skate. It goes into the corner. Now Marook trying to clear it ahead. Bounces back to Langevin. Langevin's pass got away from Bellows. He grabs the jersey or the stick of LaValle, who was then bumped by Lawton. And Federko finally has it. There's more action away from the puck in this series than there is on the puck sometimes. Now Bell to center ice. Throwing it in. Beaupre watches it sail wide. Blues have yet to get a shot on goal in this period. The North Stars have had 4. And it's poked out of the zone. Ramage over to Bell. Bell throwing it back in. I don't think we've seen much of Dave Barr in this game either, Wally. He was questionable starter. He was in the starting lineup, but I don't know if he's taken a regular shift since.
No, he hasn't. He's seen spot duty, and I'm sure that left knee of his is still plenty sore.
Here's Bell. We played 6 minutes of period 2. Shooting it in. Hartsburg and Hunter glaring at one another as Wilson picks it up. Wilson throwing it ahead. A nice pass to McKegney. Now over to Dirk Graham with McKegney. Wrist shot. Saved by Millen. Rebound cleared by Ronning. And the Blues come out. Gilmore back to Ronning at the line. They crisscross and the play breaks down. Here's Dirk Graham's pass, nearly picked off. Hunter has it at center and throws it back to his defense. Ramage now to Ronning. Ronning called up by the Blues around the 1st of April after having played with Team Canada. Gilmore back to Ronning, number 7. Ronning shoots. It goes off the glass into the corner. Here's Hartsburg. Ronning is checked by Hartsburg. Gilmore is knocked down. There'll be a penalty on Wilson. And the Blues will go to a power play. With the score, Minnesota 3, St. Louis 1. We'll be back in a moment.
Ron Wilson hauled down the Blues player back behind the North Star goal. Goes off for hooking at 6:48. And you see Gilmore coming by here trying to pick up that loose puck. His arm was tied up by Wilson's stick. And the Blues have their 4th power play of the hockey game.
A couple of ex-Minnesotans down here. Craig Paver and Kathy Whittet Paver saying hello to their family back in Hibbing and in St. Paul. Boy, there are a lot of Minnesota people here.
Yep.
Here's Barr and Giles tangling up for it. Now Federko, and Graham clears it all the way back. Ramage. Checked by Acton. Now Rob Ramage playing it ahead to Barr. Bearing down on Langevin. Took a solid hit from Langevin, and that puck hopped right in front of the net.
Donnie Beaupre looked back into the corner for that bad spot in the boards.
Now Barr gets it to Beers. Back to Barr, who's back on the ice. Now to Beers and to Barr again. Minute 20 on the power play. At the blue line, Ramage. What action in front of the net. Giles and Wickenheiser are all tangled up. Here's Wickenheiser to Barr, and he was checked from behind by Nielsen. The puck slides out of the zone. Breakaway chance here for Bellows. He's got Nielsen trailing. Finds him, and the puck hopped away. Now Nielsen throwing it back to Giles. And the North Stars clear it down with a minute to go. On the penalty to Wilson. Fans here really upset with the St. Louis power play. It is the Blues' 4th power play of the game. And their 19th of the series thus far. 0 for 18 thus far. Here's Federko in front. The puck just got away from him. 30 seconds to go on the penalty to Wilson. Ronning checked by Rouse, and Beaupre covers up.
3-1. North Stars leading here in this Norris Division semifinal game.
Boy, what a big story coming out of Toronto tonight, Wally.
This is the other Norris Division game, and it's the Leafs leading the Hawks 3-1. Courtnall and Vive in the first period, and Tom Fergus has scored in the second period. 3-0. Toronto leading the Chicago Blackhawks in their third game. The Leafs can wrap up that series tonight, and what a shock that would be.
A shock because Toronto finished fourth and Chicago finished first, but not a shock when you consider Toronto won 6 and lost 2 against Chicago this year in the regular season. Boy, you just considering only the games that the North Stars have played against those two teams, and Chicago was the far superior team.
I just can't believe what's happening in that series is happening. I figured, okay, Hawks, had a soft time. They were in first place most of the year. Not a lot of big games for them and not a lot of need to play well. But I figured once the playoffs would start with the talent on that team, they just roll right over the Leafs. But Toronto has absolutely nothing to do or nothing to lose. And I'm sure they're going in there very, very loose. And they've got all the confidence in the world going for them right now. I tell you, the winner of this series here is going to be in for a tough time against the Leafs.
Well, they're riding a lot of pent-up emotion. That's big hockey capital, if you will, the media center of Canada. A lot of attention is always drawn to the Leafs, win, lose, or draw. And so the pressure is always on there. They're trying to shake the last 2 years of not having made the playoffs. Now they've made the playoffs, and they're riding that emotion.
It's been since 1967 that they last won a Stanley Cup there, and we've just had passed on to us that Miroslav Fryscher has scored. It's now 4-0 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Unbelievable.
Is that game over, would you say?
I'd say it is. Of course, Dennis Savard last game scored 4 goals when they lost 6-4. You can never count him out.
They're repairing a bad spot on the ice, and we'll take care of that. As you look at Dirk Graham getting some repairs from Doc Rose at the bench. Looked like a cut around the upper lip.
Mike Sage and Scott Morris want to say hi to everyone and pass on a hello to Gino and Hoser Howie. Howie, I guess you're a real hoser because you were supposed to come down here with those two guys and you didn't.
Well, this July, Channel 29 will present the Goodwill Games live from Moscow. 129 hours of top athletic competition from athletes around the globe, competing in gymnastics, swimming, figure skating, boxing, and more. The Goodwill Games coming in July on Minnesota's #1 sports station, Channel 29. 11:05 left to go in the second period. Here's Ronning, centering it off Wilson, and finally dug out by Broughton, who gets it to Bjugstad. Bearing down on Natras. Knocked down. There's going to be a penalty on Natras here. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on the Minnesota North Star Hockey Network.
Scotty Bjugstad coming down on Rick Natras, and you see Natras just chop the feet out right from underneath the Bjugstad. It'll put the North Stars on their 4th power play chance of the night. They already are 2 for 3.
At first glance, I thought perhaps that was not a real good call, but indeed, when he swung the stick, he was not playing the puck and did chop the legs right out from Bjugstad. So tripping is the call, and for the North Stars now, their 4th power play. 2 for 3 thus far. Mahar checked, cleared it, and it's tipped to center ice. Nielsen scampers back for it. Batting it away from Reeds. Wickenheiser keeps it in. Hangs on to it. Finally, Broughton takes it away. Boy, that would have given the Blues a big lift. North Stars need another goal here. They're only up by 2. And they have really dominated this period, out shooting St. Louis 6-0. But they need to put a couple of more nails in the coffin, if you will. Broughton playing it back to the point. Hartsburg. Wilson. Slap shot. Nice save by Millen, and it hops all the way back out. A minute to go in the power play.
New power play unit coming on for the North Stars as Marouk, Bellows, and Klett clamber over the boards.
Now Hartsburg tied up by Wickenheiser. Bellows has the puck as Hartsburg and Wickenheiser have a few words for each other. Wilson. Not a Marouk. Checked by Gilmore, hangs on to it. Plays offside, however, says Leon Stickle. Well, if Game 5 of this series is necessary, it'll be played at the Met Center on Tuesday at 7:30. Tickets are available at the Met and at Dayton's now, or you can charge tickets on American Express, Visa, or MasterCard by calling 853-9300. And if those home playoff games are sold out for 48 hours in advance, we'll have them for you live here on KITN TV Channel 29. Ticket office open tomorrow. Once again, a reminder, from noon until 8. That's at the Met Center.
Dennis Maruk has a goal and 2 assists in this game. The North Stars in the playoffs so far have scored 10 goals. Maruk has 8 points. And he's a +9. Both are tops in the National Hockey League playoffs.
Maruk has just always had a good playoff career against the Blues. And now another whistle, this time a 2-line pass. In the 12 playoff games against the Blues coming into tonight's game, Maruk had 13 points. So we're going to add 3 more, giving him 16 points in 13 games.
We just saw a look at Rick Mahar, who is getting an awful lot of ice time in this series. Not only his regular spot on penalty killing, as we see him lining up for the face-off opposite Maruk, but as we mentioned before, shadowing Neil Broughton. A lot of ice time for Mahar.
Now Bourgeois behind the net with a half minute to go on the St. Louis penalty to Natras. Puck is underneath Bourgeois as Bellows is right on top of him.
Number 15 there is Mark Reeds, another defensive specialist. He's on that same line as Mahar, watching that North Star trio. Mark Reeds came out through the system, starting his career in Salt Lake City. Missed only 2 games this year, played all 80 last year, but he missed the 2 games when his mother passed away earlier this season.
Broughton's line is out, but the Blues nearly take the puck away. Here's Cicerelli trying to get away from Mahar, and Bourgeois cleared it. It got past Hartsburg. He's going to have to tie up Reeds. Mark Reeds shorthanded, shot right on, and Beaupre gets rid of it just as the whistle goes. Another good shorthanded opportunity for the Blues, but Hartsburg got back well, forced Reeds to the outside, as you'll see, and made it a relatively easy save for Beaupre.
Well, that's what you want to do. Keep them outside. You see the defense will always play towards the middle of the ice. It makes it a lot easier on the goaltender. At the last moment, you saw the North Stars defender put the stick out, just trying to get it in front of it, not throwing his body in the way, unless you're definitely going down the block to shot, but there's always that potential of screening the goaltender. So by just forcing the guy outside, putting the stick out at the last second, you can just get enough of it to send it over the glass.
That was the Blues' first shot on goal of the period, and we played better than half the period. The North Stars lead in the game 3-1. Here's Roberts. Now to Graham. Rolled away from him. Norwood playing it back. Giles has it. Now back to Acton. Nice feed to Graham. Shot wide and a little bit high. Barr has it. Barr to center ice. The penalty to Natras is over. Here's Ronning. Tied up by Giles. Acton whacks at it. Whacks at it again. Beers playing it back behind the net. Barr in front to Ronning. A sensational save by Beaupre. What a tremendous save. He robbed Hunter in the first period, and now robs Barr in close. Ramage now playing it to center ice. Barr has it, throwing it to the Minnesota line, and the North Stars take over from there. Here's Kurt Giles. Ahead to McKegney. It got away from him, and they wave off icing. Norwood and Plett collide, and it's cleared out of the zone by Beers. Icing against St. Louis here. Fans not happy. You sense the air is coming out of St. Louis's balloon here just a little bit. North Stars hockey comes to you from St. Louis on KITN TV, Channel 29. Play just underway as Wilson shoots the puck to the corner. It was deflected there. Now Nielsen has it, waits for the zone to clear. Tripped up at center. Dennis Morel didn't hesitate an iota here, and he's going to wave Kozlowski right into the penalty box. Another power play chance for the North Stars.
It's not what the Blues need right now, Frank. They're in a hole. They have to get out, and the longer they remain behind the North Stars and the more that they put themselves in trouble with penalties, the much more difficult it's going to be for them to try and get out of that hole. 12:29, the time of the penalty. And here's the most recent effort by Beaupre as Cliff Ronning cuts out in front. Donnie getting the glove up, but it looks like that puck had gone past him and off the crossbar, staying out of the net. So a little lady luck with Donnie back in the pipes.
Kozlowski for tripping at 12:29. The North Stars on their 6th power play, 2 for 5 thus far. 5th power play will make it 2 for 4. If you're thoroughly confused, hang on a while. We'll make you more confused. Here's Lawton in the corner. Checked by Wickenheiser. Now Pavis goes after it and clears it all the way down. 7 minutes to go in the period. 90 seconds to go in the penalty to Kozlowski. Now Kent Nielsen, who scored the last goal of the game, playing it ahead. Bourgeois is there, clearing it out. Kent Nielsen got it to Lawton. He shoots it in, and Bourgeois jams him up against the boards. Millen whacks at it. Wickenheiser clears it. Hartsburg goes back for it. Gilmore is right after him. And Hartsburg will use the net as a little bit of a screen there. But Gilmore knocked it off of Hartsburg's stick. Plett nearly decapitates Gilmore. Boy, did Willie come after him with a high stick.
That was a senseless penalty for Willie to take. The North Stars have got the momentum going in their favor. They got St. Louis down. And you don't have to give them a further advantage by taking a shot like that. Now, if Willie would have hit him with a shoulder, it would have been okay. But look how he gets his stick right up around the face of Doug Gilmore. And that's what Willie is going to the penalty box for at this moment. But we have a lot of milling around right in front of the St. Louis bench as tempers are getting very heated. This has been a chippy series all along.
To no one's surprise, really. Plett upset, as you can see, at Morrell, and draws a chorus of boos from the fans.
Time of the penalty, 13:26.
13:26, Plett for high sticking. Things will be even up for 1 minute and 3 seconds. And upon the return of Greg Kozlowski, the Blues will go on a power play. St. Louis has got to start turning it on right now, Frank. They can't lay back too much more. They've got to take some more offensive chances. If that happens, as Gordy Roberts told us in the first intermission, it'll fall into the North Stars game plan because they like to get in a running game with the St. Louis Blues, and we'll just watch for that sign and see what happens.
Here's Gilmore. Backhand stopped by Beaupre. Gilmore in the corner, checked by Broughton. Now Wilson knocked it loose. Ronning has it. 4 skaters aside right now as Ronning's cannon goes right through. Bourgeois shooting. A nice save by Beaupre on a screen shot. And bodies down behind the puck, and play goes on. Here's Broughton. Back to Ciccarelli. He's checked. Roberts a cannon, and it went wide. Ronning has it. Back to center ice. Ryan Ronning was checked. The puck comes free. And the North Stars have a chance. Here's Broughton with a shot. Millen a save. Looked like he was fighting the puck a little bit there. Now back to Ronning behind the net. Scored 108 points with Team Canada, so he's a big scorer. Ramage. Back to Ronning. In 3 seconds, the Blues will go to a power play. Langevin has it. 55 seconds left on the penalty to Willie Plett. And the Blues are on their 5th man power advantage of the game. Now Bell. Checked by Graham and knocked down. And it's cleared back to center. Kozlowski, a nice feed to Fedorko. Back to LaValle. Checked by Langevin. And Acton got the puck, but Fedorko was tied up with Giles. And Giles gets an interference penalty.
Fedorko left a drop pass. He was fair game to be hit because Giles was moving into him. You see the look of despair on the face of Kurt Giles. He can't believe he's getting called for that, and quite frankly, I can't either. That play happens about 400 times a season. Watch Fedorko now. Leaves a neat little play here. Good drop pass. Giles is just finishing it off, taking him out. He'd already made the move to hit the man. He's allowed to finish it in a case like that, but Morrell called it. Now the North Stars are 2 men short. There's a look at Coach Lauren Henning. Beside him is Les Jackson. Prompting their team on. Come on, guys, don't let it get you down. We'll just have to battle back a little harder. Giles for interference. This penalty called at 14:50. The Blues a two-man advantage for the next 36 seconds. Wendell Clark has scored again, and the Leafs are up 5-0 over the Hawks. Frank, I guess you're right. It looks like it's lights out.
Good night. Not so the case here. The series tied at a game apiece, and the Blues again have a two-man skating advantage. That's the second time tonight. This a little bit shorter, however, about a half minute. They trail in the game 3-1 as it's cleared out of there by Keith Acton. Acton doing an excellent job as a penalty killer tonight. Here's Ronning dropping it back to Federko. Acton fell, but the puck hit him. He tries to cover it up. Federko to Norwood. Point save by Beaupre. And Acton has the puck and guns it right out of the rink.
I think Woody would have liked that to stay down maybe one more foot. It would have put it all the way down the ice, but unfortunately that faceoff will come back in the Minnesota zone to the right of Donnie Beaupre. Here's Norwood moving in. He had a lot of ice here. Donnie, a good save. They had traffic cutting out in front, but look how well the North Stars are defending here, folks. They've been doing that extremely well all night long, pushing the Blues out of the front of the North Stars net.
Penalty killing for the North Stars this season, 7th best.
And it's improved steadily. At one time this year, the North Stars were 17th in penalty killing, finished at 7th, and they've held the Blues at bay so far.
So that would give you an indication of how strong it was in that second half to pull them up so far. Ramage right on Beaupre, the save. The rebound is loose. No goal. Ew, boy, are you going to see some hot people right now. Morrell waved it off. I think he lost sight of it, but the puck was, from our vantage point, free. Federko chasing after Morrell.
This will be Morrell's view. Beaupre makes the save. The puck is still loose.
Oh, Beaupre actually put it in himself. Oh, man.
But the whistle did go before it crossed the line. There's no question about that. The question is, the whistle was blown early. Maybe a little premature because it was loose.
Well, it's time to litter the ice with some debris, I guess.
And they're letting it happen.
Yeah, they're expressing their displeasure. Still a minute 20 left on the penalty to Giles. And while they clean it up, we'll take a timeout. With 4:30 left in the second period, the score, Minnesota 3, St. Louis nothing. Well, Evelyn Nelson from Florent, Missouri, another former Minnesotan, is at this hockey game tonight, as well as Steve and Dave Schuster, former Minnesotans, and Tommy Maxwell. His brother Tim is still back in the city. I don't believe you still have more of those. I thought you were done.
No. Pat Mannion's hockey game party from Jim Hauser, a North Star fan now living in St. Louis. Matty Horner, alias Tippy, a Blues fan living in Bloomington, from Bill Schneider. Bill says hi. And we got to say hi to Mickey and Wes and the whole gang from Sioux in St. Louis. Also to Dick Ferrara from... Too bad you wrote it too messy. I can't read it.
Well, tickets for the Norris Division Finals against Chicago or Toronto will go on sale Monday, April 14th at 9:30 at the Met Center, and also at Dayton's ticket offices. Phone orders will be accepted for this first day of ticket sales. Yes, you can order by phone. Charge tickets on American Express, MasterCard, or Visa by calling 853-9300. So what we're saying is that you can order them for the next round starting on Monday. And of course, if there is no next round for the North Stars, you will be given a refund.
Exactly. Well worded, Frank. Still a minute 20 left in the Kurt Giles penalty. 4:30 left in the second period. And it's 3-1 Minnesota.
Can I follow up on that ticket announcement thing?
Sure.
I wouldn't have read it if things weren't looking pretty good.
Oh, don't say stuff like
Here's
that.
the wood right here, Walling. Knock on it. Just said they're looking pretty good. Gilmore and Acton getting ready. And the linesman is Ron Asselstein, one of the bigger linesmen in the league. And he got in the way of Ronning, who gets the loose puck anyway. This Ronning can really scoot. Shot hit Hartsburg, hops in the air, it's loose, they whack at it. And it's underneath Acton.
Ronning is calling for a delay. I do like the little Cliff Ronning, number 7. Speedy, very, very good with the puck. And what I've been impressed with in the 3 games we've seen with him, very quick hands, can move on a dime.
He was one of 2 St. Louis players called up from Team Canada. The other, Brian Benning, who is not dressed tonight. Our Stars clear it down with a minute to go on that penalty to Giles. 4 minutes left in the second period. Acton out of the corner, shorthanded, centers to Graham, but it was knocked away, and here comes Ramage. Up to Fedorko. Fedorko led the Blues with 16 power play goals this year, but he was stopped at the Minnesota line. Now Ronning chases back for it. 35 seconds on the power play for St. Louis. A nice interception by Nielsen. Now Norwood intercepts. Up to Ronning. It hit a couple of skates, and the Blues are offside.
You know, just prior to that, Frank, Craig Hartsburg made a neat little play at the Minnesota blue line. The Blues came up the middle, tried a left wing pass to Ronning. Hartsey just got a stick on it to poke check it back to center. They had all 5 guys going forward. All of a sudden they had to stop, but they were beaten to the puck by Acton, who shot it back inside the St. Louis line. So you can see how just a quick little stab at the puck like that can totally change the momentum of the play. And it cost the Blues probably a good 15 seconds there.
Wickenheiser facing off against Bellows, and now they want to reline something here. I'm not sure what the delay is. Now we're ready. Wickenheiser wins the draw, but pulled it past Bell. Bruce Bell, a former Quebec Nordique player. Now out to Wickenheiser, who's had a great year considering the fact that he had recovered from major knee injury. Got away from Barr. Here's Roberts. Avoids the check of Barr. Looks for an opening. Cleared it to center. Just out of the box. Here's Giles. And then Nielsen flips it in. So the North Stars again weather a storm here. A St. Louis power play. Here's Wickenheiser. Long shot deflected by Ron Wilson. And they cover up. We'll have a face-off. We are late in period number 2 with the score. Minnesota 3, St. Louis 1. We'll be back at the arena in a moment. Face-off coming up to the right of Beaupre. Blues have pulled even on the shots department now. 8 apiece for the period, and that in large part is due to the power play opportunities that they have had. Ramage. Oh, a great shot and a goal. What a deceiving shot by Ramage, and the Blues pull within 1. Talk about the value of a wrist shot. Here's a guy that uncorks one from the blue line and scored on it.
Watch it as it comes back to the point, fakes the slap shot, moves right to the far boards. It may have been deflected out in front of the net. We'll wait for the official word, but there was traffic there. Ronnie Wilson trying to clear it, but the North Stars, Bjugstad couldn't hold it in along the boards. And Ramage, look at it, an impossible shot really coming from those boards, but it deflected past Beaupre, and it's now a whole new game at 3-2, still Minnesota's lead.
Kozlowski gets the goal from Ramage at 17-16. Here's Pavis. LaValle pushes it right through. And Bjugstad has it. Sidesteps the check. Up to Ciccarelli. He's met by Pavis, who's really throwing his weight around. Pavis standing at about 6'1" or 6'2". Well, that is a huge goal. Second goal of the night for Kozlowski.
Stay tuned. In our second intermission, we're going to have a special feature on goaltenders featuring Don Beaupre and John Casey, talking to them about the game of playing goal.
And I think we should have the kids watch that too. Few pointers for them.
We'll also have the odd plays of 85, 86, and of course highlights from this period and a good look at what's going on out of town.
Maruk shooting it in. It's tipped by Millen. Bellows goes after it. North Stars are going to find themselves in a real dogfight right now. Here's Giles. Long shot blocked by Millen. The rebound hopped away from Lawton. Bellows keeping it alive. Intercepted by Fedorko. Checked by Lawton. Fedorko dropping it back. Pavis shooting it out. And it'll come to the side of the North Star net, but no icing. Giles playing it around. Fedorko intercepts. Lost it. Lawton checked. Gets it ahead to Bellows. Now 2-on-2 with Maruk. Bellows at the line. Flipped it in front. Norwood got it over to Beers. And here come the Blues roaring back again with 90 seconds to go in the period. And that shot by Beers caroms into the corner. Maruk tipped it. It's kept in. Natras' shot blocked. Rebound. May have hit the goalpost, or Beaupre got the upper part of the stick on it. Look at the traffic jam in the crease. And finally Bellows goes back for it.
Part of the problem that Beaupre had to come up with a save like he did, Frank, is because the St. Louis player was standing right in on top of him. Beaupre now is halfway out to the blue line to talk with referee Dennis Morel about the fact that there was players on top of him. Watch the action. There's a shot from the point. Look at Eddie Beers. There was a shot, but Beers was right in the crease. He wasn't pushed in there under any momentum at all. Finally, Roberts came in and started roughing up Beers, but you still see Donnie having to contend with big Ed Beers, who just planted himself.
Under a minute to go in the period. Here's Mahar centering it. It's up in the air again, knocked down by Graham, and then played to center ice by Broughton, who was checked by Gilmore. The Blues play it right back in. The North Stars have to hang on here. They don't want the Blues to tie it late in the second period. McKegney check. Ramage keeping it in. What a key hit there by Mark Reeds. Gilmore shot hit Hartsburg. Wilson can't get it out. 30 seconds to go. Our Stars are going to have to get it out. McKegney checked. And finally Hartsburg hauls it out of there to the St. Louis line. Leaves it for McKegney. Millen got the glove on it, and it went wide. Broughton centers it. It's broken up. Then he was flattened, and here comes Mahar. 9 seconds to go. Shooting, and it's turned away by Beaupre. Hartsburg has it, and he'll try to ride out the clock here as the siren goes, but you can tell from the fans that the Blues have gotten a big lift out of the closing couple of minutes of that second period, and now are within 1 goal of the North Stars. We'll be back with our second intermission in a moment at their 2 periods. Minnesota 3, St. Louis 2.
Hartford. The Bruins' Jeff Courtnall drives one off the blocker of goalie Steve Weeks. It goes straight up into the Connecticut sky and on one bounce pops in. Games, there are childhood games like Catch with Glove and Stick featuring Larry Murphy and Bent Gustafson of Washington. Calgary's Al McGinnis fires a crisp pass to Colin Patterson, but it lodges in his skate. Like a puppy with a sprained paw, McInnes comes to linesman Jerry Gauthier for help. It's not a phone booth, but you can still get 8 guys in it if you try. Washington and Los Angeles established the record. And after Doug Hallward had his stick swiped at Madison Square Garden, his glove came up missing too. Longest shots on a guarded net came from Toronto's Dan Daou. He plopped one near Los Angeles goalie Bob Janasek. It's a soft one. It's a slippery one. It's off Janasek. It's in. Longest shot on an unguarded net, 180 feet from Mark Howe of the Flyers against Los Angeles. Chaperoning the shot during the final stretch, Peter Zezel.
Winnipeg and Calgary are tied at 2, and Chicago now has scored 2 goals. They trail the Maple Leafs 5-2, so now you're caught up to date, or brought up to date on the rest of those out-of-town games. 15 seconds into the third period here. and we have an offside at the St. Louis line.
Same time tomorrow night. Make that the same channel.
Yes.
But not the same time. We'll be on at 6:30 tomorrow night, folks. We're moving it up an hour earlier so people in St. Louis can get their Sunday night rest.
Well, you got 1 out of 2 right, Wally. That's not bad.
Uh-oh.
Here's a break for Federko. Tie hockey game.
Not the guy you want to see get loose. Known as a playmaker. This time he gets the nice pass from Rob Ramage straight up the middle. Catching Ronnie Wilson, pinching in. And a breakaway goal for Federko, deflecting it off the right pad of Donnie Beaupre. And it's tied at 3-all. Just 27 seconds into the period. That's not what the North Stars wanted to have happen.
Well, it's a bit of a small crowd, as you can see here, but they are a lively bunch, that's for sure. Now Mahar to Cavallini. Took a hard check from Giles. And the North Stars are right now in serious trouble here. Tied up and the Blues are storming. It's centered by Reeds. It comes right through. And it's backhanded out by Ciccarelli. Norwood, first man of the puck, playing it ahead. And it deflects into the corner as Hartsburg skates after it. He conveniently ran into the stick of Mahar. Here's Kurt Giles. Waits for the play to set up. Gets it to Broughton. Checked at center ice by Natras. Hartsburg carries in. Got it to Lawton. Ciccarelli trailing, shoots it wide. Lawton center to Broughton, and he's checked by Mahar. Mahar goes down in the corner. Back at the blue line, Wilson. Slap shot. Millen, a pad save. What a blast by Wilson. Now Lawton is held a bit by Norwood. Here's Graham behind the net. And the goal has come loose, and play is called.
Millen, you see, way back in the net as he was knocked down, forced the net loose from its magnetic moorings. And Millen a little slow getting up from that collision. Here's Graham. Watch the action in front. Broughton goes in close. Oh, it was a stick of his own man that hit Millen. Norwood, number 23, got his stick up trying to push, or not Norwood, it was number 27, Rick Natras. But just before that, a great big save as Ron Wilson fired. It was deflected by Broughton right on. And Millen coming up with a stop to keep the game tied at 3-all. Millen up in OK. As he talks to linesman Leon Stickle. And now Leon will drop the puck between Keith Acton and Dave Barr. Watch how Acton gets down on that stick. He's got both hands around it. You can tell by the way he's standing, he's going to go to the backhand. He gets a lot more strength. Now he's changed his grip on his lower hand.
From the face-off, the Blues control. Here's Bell playing it ahead for Gilmore, but it got away. Now Wilson out to McKegney, redirected it for Acton, but it's picked up by Gilmore, who shoots it in. Now Roberts, checked by Hunter. Looks for an open man, finds an opening, and shoots it all the way down for an icing call. Fans delighted once again. Ramage coming up with 2 assists tonight. Federko has a goal and an assist.
Donnie Beaupre tied an NHL record with 14 straight wins this year. Loves pro wrestling. Also standing up very well. He even stood up on that shot by Federko, but it was a good shot. Glancing off his inside leg and into the net.
Now Wickenheiser kicked it back to Ramage, who shoots. It sails wide, and not by very much. Bellows tipped it out. Ramage goes back for it. Now playing it ahead to Kozlowski. Has 2 of the St. Louis goals. Got it to Wickenheiser. He rolls it in front, and Kozlowski, a diving play, tipped it wide. Boy, that would have been a gem of a hat trick. Giles is going to go here. Blues maintain control. Ramage backhands one. That hit traffic. Now Ramage shoots it way wide. Pavis waiting. The Blues have an extra skater. Ramage to Federko. A delayed penalty on the North Stars. Ramage, slap shot, knocked down in front and cleared. Beaupre shoving at Wickenheiser. Hartsburg gives Wickenheiser a shot from behind. Giles now shoving with one of the other St. Louis players.
As tempers continue to be heated. But out of this all, as Morrell goes to the penalty box, will be a St. Louis power play.
Live from the arena, it's the Norris Division semifinals on KITN TV, Channel 29.
St. Louis has scored once in the period and continues to pour the coals on. Doug Wickenheiser here centering it out in front. Kozlowski just missing on a tip-in. Then the puck picked up by LaValle, spun around there by Kurt Giles. And that's why he's in the box for holding at 2:41. The Blues go on their 6th power play. Make that 7th power play of the hockey game. They have yet to score a power play goal in this series.
That's incredible.
Yeah, watch it happen now.
Yeah, you did it this time. Fans chanting, "Let's go Blues." They have Federko, Hunter, and Beers up front with Ramage and Norwood back on the points. Acton and Graham are the two North Star forwards with Hartsburg and Roberts on defense. Ramage keeps the clearing pass in. Beers checked by Hartsburg. Now Hunter to the blue line for Norwood. Hunter tips it back to the corner. Beers looks for Federko, who sends it around to Ramage. Ramage back into the corner. Federko has it. At the side to Beers, now to Federko again. Centering it for Hunter, and it got away. Hartsburg has it and clears it out.
Our Stars making some changes as Nielsen and Bellows step on the ice.
Here's Federko. Dropping it back at the line for Norwood, who shoots it around. Beaupre helps it around the boards. Ramage keeps it in. Now Roberts picks it off and comes up ice 3-on-2. Roberts took a check. Play is still alive as Nielsen is bumped, but the Blues get it. Norwood with a minute to go on the penalty to Giles. Hunter, big goal scorer, hasn't scored a goal in 13 games. Now Gilmore in the corner is knocked down by Roberts. Bellows cleared. Bourgeois keeps it in. Beaupre a save. And the rebound cleared by Bellows. Beaupre shouting at Morrell as the referee skates away. Now the lead to the line for Federko. He's spun around by Langevin, and Acton cleared it but not out. Norwood walking in. Wrist shot deflected right on.
Keith Acton had a lot of room to try and clear that puck, but fired it right at Norwood. He could have gone to the boards or up the middle. And instead of the play moving down ice, we'll have a face-off to the right of Donnie Beaupre. Beau has seen some action here in the period. There's Bourgeois letting a shot go right on. The puck bounced loose. And Donnie tried to get to it, but it was cleared just after that down the ice.
Well, this was a big one on that deflection.
And he hung on with Kozlowski right on the doorstep.
26 seconds left in the penalty to Giles. Beaupre has faced 27 St. Louis shots, 4 of them in this period. Acton and Gilmore lining up. Langevin and Hartsburg talk things over. The draw to the Blues. Bell shot off the glass. Bourgeois trying to keep it in. Knocks Bellows down, or at least knocked Langevin down. Acton got the loose puck to Graham. Now back to Keith Acton, shorthanded. Knocked down at center ice by Kozlowski, and it creates an offside. Still 10 seconds left on the Giles penalty.
Well, even though it's an offside, at least it's a face-off back towards the St. Louis end of the rink. And it gives the North Stars a chance to win this face-off and gain control. If they do that, they've done another splendid job of killing off penalty.
13,652, the announced crowd here. changed in assists on the second North Star goal, giving the assist to Wilson instead of Rouse. And penalty to Giles. Has 4 more seconds left. Here's Bell behind the St. Louis net as Giles steps on. He heads right across ice for Barr, smacks Barr, a good one right into the boards, then goes off on a quick change.
Barr's the one that got hurt on a Giles check back in the first game.
Oh, that shot by Cicerelli bounces right back in front. It was darn near a charge. Giles came scooting all the way out of the penalty box.
Greg Millen a little bit fooled here on the last shot as Cicerelli comes storming right up the middle from 80 feet out. Let it go just wide, but watch as it bounces straight off the boards. It's a good thing for Millen that he's as far out as he is, and it turned around halfway expecting that play. Otherwise, if he's any further back, it hits him in the skate and bounces in.
Shot was off target by a fair amount, but still was dangerous as it bounced back in. Now they're in the circle a little prematurely. Penalty box is empty. We've played 5 minutes of the third period. It's a 3-3 game. The Blues scored first, led 1-0. The North Stars took a 3-1 lead, and the Blues have scored the last 2 goals late in the second, then early in the third. Now Norwood behind his own net, chased out of there, got it to Natras, now ahead to Reeds. Reeds to the red checker line, hits the North Star line. His shot goes off Roberts. Now Beaupre trying to play it away, and Lawton fires it ahead, a little bit out of the reach of Broughton. Now back to Wilson. To Brian Lawton, who tips it in, tries to break through. He's knocked down, and the puck comes loose to Cavallini. Now the North Stars battle for it. Broughton nearly took that one away, but the Blues get it. Here's Mahar. Ron Wilson is back. It's 2-on-1. Mahar's shot deflected by Beaupre wide, and then it's finally picked up by Broughton. Broughton comes up ice with Cicerelli and Lawton at the line. Dino's wide open, and he's taken out of the play, first by Pavis, then by Millen. Now it's centered, and Millen comes out to whack it away. Boy, that looked like a great scoring chance. Here's Reed shooting it in. Giles throwing it out to LaValle, or LaValle intercepting actually, and back to Ramage. Onside to Wickenheiser, who slips it in. Pozlowski shoots. It's deflected by Giles. Maruk in the corner trying to bat it out, but it was knocked down by LaValle, who centers it, and Nielsen tacks it away. Now to Brian Bellows. Drops it in neatly for Nielsen. He's checked by Bell. It comes loose to Bellows, who is tripped up. Bellows goes back for the loose puck. Blues converge on him at the blue line. Giles, a wrist shot deflected, and it trickles through the goal crease. Nielsen centering pass hit Ramage, and Bellows hustles forward in the corner. Now the North Stars starting to turn it on, but the puck was inadvertently cleared, and they're going to call icing here. Fans are surprised. With the score, Minnesota 3, St. Louis 3. We'll be back at the arena in a moment.
Charlie Bourgeois coming to the bench for a new hunk of lumber. He's satisfied, and I'm sure we're going to see him use it.
Oh, an editorial comment. Here's Acton trying to center it. Federico clearing it, and it hopped past Wilson. Now Barr hustling after that puck. Barr didn't see much action in the first period, but I think he's playing regularly in periods 2 and 3. Bell to Beers, flipping it in. In the corner, Barr checked by McKegney. Beers centers it. Here's Bell breaking through, then had the puck hop away. Graham got it to the line. Barr kept it in for a moment. Then it's played ahead to Acton. Got a nice pass from Roberts. He's tripped up, and Barr has it. Barr playing it back to the line. Beers couldn't get his stick on it. Roberts out of Wilson, looking for Acton. It was deflected by McKegney. Natras in the corner. Barr shooting it around. Gilmore waiting for it. Carries it to center. Now flips it to Federico. 3-on-3 at the line. Gilmore in the slot looking for Hunter. It was knocked away. Norwood shooting and a goal. And the Blues lead 4-3.
North Stars were caught trying to make a line change. In the process, there was too many players moving into the same spot. Norwood at the point, letting the shot go, and it deflected. Federico may get credit for it. And the Blues, for the first time in this game, go ahead. They'll make that the second time. Hunter was checked, but Norwood let the shot go. Federico tips it in, his second goal of the period to give the Blues the lead.
Norwood getting the first assist, and Hunter the other. At 7:57, here's Broughton behind the net. Checked, it rolls to the line for Giles. Throwing it back for Ciccarelli. Roberts goes after it, ties up with Reeds. Dino plays it to Hartsburg, whose shot was stopped by Millen. The rebound to Lawton. And finally, it is controlled and cleared by Mahar.
Brian Lawton is playing left wing on this line instead of Scott Bugstad with Ciccarelli.
Here's Reeds intercepting and then playing it too far for Wickenheiser. Giles, not a Nielsen. Sidesteps Federico, sidesteps Barr, centers it, and Maruk was upended away from the puck, and they'll call a penalty here, and the North Stars will go to a power play. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on the Minnesota North Star Hockey Network.
Doug Wickenheiser off for tripping at 8:55. Consequently, Coach Lorne Henning has his line that's been chipping in with the most scoring in the playoffs so far. Dennis Maruk, flanked on the left by Brian Bellows, and Willie Plett will be the slot man. Lorne Henning not getting the production out of the Broughton, Ciccarelli, Bugstad line. Bugstad being benched, Lawton put on left wing instead.
Here's Bellows flipping it in, Hunter shooting it out. North Stars on their 6th power play. 2 of their 3 goals have come on a power play tonight. Nielsen, not a Maruk, throwing it into the corner. Plett racing in after it, but Norwood cleared it away. It hit the referee, then Hunter played it to Gilmore. 2-on-1. Gilmore to Hunter, and a save by Beaupre. Gilmore can't stuff it in. Another save by Beaupre. Here's Bellows. Plett and Norwood, meanwhile, are just catching up with the play. Maruk. Slap shot hit Norwood. Maruk playing it back. Bellows has it. Checked by Norwood. Maruk to Hartsburg. To Nielsen. Shooting, hit Plett. Back to Nielsen. A minute on the power play. Hartsburg. Nielsen. Hartsburg again. Shot deflected by Gilmore. Plett. And Norwood throws Plett's stick. No penalty there. Hartsburg shooting deflected. Loose puck, and Millen covers up. Boy, this is a Pier 6 brawl.
The rule book's been thrown out here, folks. It's just let these guys play hockey. Craig Millen feeling the pressure here. Willie was pulled down, and Norwood throwing a stick away. In either case, you're looking at a penalty.
Trip error. Or did Willie try to draw that one?
That could be. Good deflection there by Maruk. St. Louis, though, had a great chance of their own as they broke out shorthanded. Gilmore has Hunter with him. Nielsen, the lone man, back. Watch Beaupre stab at it here. It's on the way in. Now watch the second effort by Gilmore. Beaupre still with his stick. Pokes it away once more. Great heads-up play by Donnie Beaupre as a last resort effort.
Top North Star player tonight so far, would you say?
I'd have to say so.
He's been the most consistent.
That's a good term, Frank, consistent, because the North Stars have got to get going. They've got to get more scoring power out of their big line that's out there right now. Broughton, Ciccarelli, and Lawton, sooner or later, have got to beat that man.
Fans here are beginning to hoot because they're flashing an out-of-town score up on the board here. Leafs now lead Chicago 6-2. That's still in the 3rd period. Blues out shooting the North Stars 7-4 in this period, 30-25. On the left of the screen there is Brian Sutter, who is out with the injury, but what a moral boost he is for this club. You wouldn't expect him to be anywhere but behind the bench. Nielsen on the North Star power play, which has plenty of time, 40 seconds. Ciccarelli's shot missed by less than 6 inches. Here's Nielsen. Reed's right in after him. Half minute on the power play. Broughton at center ice. Had it hop off his stick. Reeds to Mahar. Slap shot high and wide. Lawton playing it back. Here's Nielsen. Boy, 2 good shorthanded scoring chances for the Blues. Now Broughton. Whacked it in. Ramage intercepts and clears it out.
Our Stars are taking a few more offensive gambles, Frank, right now, which they have 2. They trail by a goal. 9 minutes left. They've got to gamble a bit.
Penalty to Wickenheiser is over as Broughton got it to Lawton. He was tied up. Broughton goes back for it, flips it to the line, and it's offside.
Gordy Roberts, who was our guest in the first intermission, the North Stars player representative. There's one from each team, and they more or less represent the players' union for their teammates. They're elected upon by each club. They also get a pretty nice holiday for their annual meeting each summer.
Acton, McKechnie, Graham up front as Roberts drives it in. Millen knocked it down. There have been times tonight when Millen has looked like he's been fighting the puck, but he's still come up with some key stops. Wilson flipping it in. Acton and McKechnie got tangled up. Now a little roughing there between Barr and Roberts. And Barr lobs it out of the zone. Roberts being challenged by Barr. Chased to the corner. Now here's McKechnie in front. Nearly lost it. Acton has it. 8 minutes left in the third period, and the Blues lead the game 4-3. Roberts having to go back in for it again. Marouk. Now Pavis for the Blues to Hunter. Throwing it in. Roberts has it. Bukestad. Got it to Wilson. Bukestad, Marouk, and Bellows make up this front line. Bellows a shot, Millen the save.
Both teams pretty much going with 3 lines throughout this hockey game. Every now and then the 4th line is put in. North Stars really don't have one because they have dressed 7 defensemen tonight. Eddie Hospodar has yet to see a shift in tonight's game.
I don't know that we've seen Bob Rouse in this period.
Last shot that Millen, you see him technically strong, cutting down the angle, standing up, stopping the shot, and controlling the rebound.
Oh, I don't know if Rouse is even on the bench.
He's not there.
Here's a shot by Giles that deflects into the corner. They roll it in front. Here's Langevin shooting, and that's scooped up by Millen, and as he breaks from the pack, play is called.
A little cocky.
We're in the middle of the third period. The Blues leading at 4-3. Back in a moment. Well, there's a look at a group of North Stars stargazers. Big fans made a trip down to the St. Louis Arena for the game. And while we have this brief opportunity, we want to pass on our thanks. Now we got a puck out of play, so it'll give us a little more time here. Our personal thanks to Dick Dillman and Joe Janis of the North Stars Public Relations Office for all of the help that they have provided us throughout the entire year. We made numerous phone calls to them, not only about travel arrangements, but also about some statistics that are kind of hidden, and you have to look for them for a while, but they've been really helpful, and we appreciate it. Now the puck is on the back of the net, so we'll face it off back out at center ice again.
Charlie Bourgeois, what a series he has had. He's been that ingredient that the Blues lacked last season, but he plays it physical, not too bad either as far as mobility, but he's a very steady player. His 244 penalty minutes were tops on the team this year. Half of those came from Calgary.
I thought he was playing a more chippy style at the Met Center in games 1 and 2. He seems to be relatively tame here tonight, unless I'm missing stuff out of the corner of my eye. I don't know. Bergeron, a +9 with the Blues and a +9 with Calgary before the trade, so I guess he can play the game. He is a +18 for the year.
Where'd the puck go? The puck went underneath the end boards is where it went. Nobody could seem to find it.
And I guess they say the North Stars put the puck out of play, so it's going to be back out at center ice.
That's a good call. Not very often you see it go under the rink. It usually goes out over.
With Wally Shaver, this is Frank Mazzacco from the St. Louis Arena. Hope you're enjoying the telecast. It's a bit of a heartbreaking one thus far for the North Stars, who led 3-1, now find themselves trailing 4-3. Now Ron Wilson gets it from Beaupre. Over to Hartsburg. Checked by Reeds. He's played a whale of a game. Now Lawton fakes the shot. Got it to Ciccarelli. Tried to center it. And it hops through to the corner. Meanwhile, Ramage went flying behind the net. Here's Hartsburg with Reeds right in on top of him. To Lawton. Back to Wilson. North Stars taking their time. Throwing it in. Deflects off Mahar to the corner. Ramage checked by Lawton. Reeds has it. Pavis trying to clear it. Can't do it. Kept in by Wilson. Now Ciccarelli. North Stars starting to turn up the juice here a little bit. But Cavallini gets the loose puck. Cavallini hasn't scored a goal in 17 games. He's knocked down. And then it hops into the Minnesota end. 6 minutes left in regulation. The North Stars need a goal to tie it. Lawton fell. Federico has it. Then taken away by Wilson. Here's Wilson playing it ahead, intercepted by Norwood, who got it back to Federico. It's a two-line pass. North Stars hockey comes to you from St. Louis on KITN TV, Channel 29.
So you play country music on K102? Yep. But you don't talk much? Nope. FM stereo country? Yep. But you don't talk much? Nope. Do the other K102 disc jockeys talk much? Nope. 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 Say, you choose your disc jockeys pretty carefully, don't you? Yep.
More music, less bull. K102 FM.
Just under 6 minutes to go in regulation. Acton, Graham, McKegney up front. From the face-off, it comes back to center. Giles and Roberts are back on defense. Federico's line with Barr and Beers for the Blues. Natras checked by Graham. Now Acton throws a check into Beers, and they freeze it.
One thing I'm noticing right now, Frank, on the North Stars' behalf, in the attacking zone, you're going to see the defense move in a little bit closer. In fact, as the puck was up along the boards there, Kurt Giles was about 5 feet inside the blue line on his side where the puck was. Gordy Roberts, meanwhile, was at the top edge of the face-off circle. Trying to get that fourth man in there, Edmonton style, and take advantage of the extra offense that can create for you.
Had a look at Keith Acton, who had 9 points in the regular season in the 8 games against St. Louis. And he has done well in the playoffs over the years against the Blues. 10 points in 12 games. Here's McKegney, checked by Pavis. Centers it to Acton, and a loose puck was steered away by Millen. I think he stopped Roberts on that last flurry. Roberts was taken down, and the Blues break out. Giles clearing it right back. Boy, Ramage just had him right around the waist. Here's Acton trying to get in. Left it for Graham. Oh, a great save by Millen. Millen's not shaky anymore, that's for sure.
He stands in there very, very well and did the job. Coming up with a huge save right there.
Well, another score out of town. The Leafs continue to pour it to the Blackhawks, leading 7-2 now.
There's Keith Acton coming down, leaves a beautiful drop pass. Graham gets a shot. Again, we point out the fact that Millen is a right-handed glove goaltender. Most goalies are left-handed. I don't know if that makes much difference as a shooter, but you'd have to think conscientiously. Maybe it does, because of the fact you're not expecting a glove hand on that side.
Edmonton beats Vancouver 5-1, and they win that series. Philadelphia leading the Rangers 2-1. That's in the second period. That series tied at a game apiece. Winnipeg and Calgary are tied at 3 in the third period. Calgary leading in that series 2-0. And again, the Toronto score, the Maple Leafs 7 and the Blackhawks 2.
They've got the brooms out in the gardens.
30 shots aside here as the North Stars out shooting the Blues 9-7 in this period. They have had the pressure on here in the last 5 to 7 minutes. Bourgeois to Gilmore, trying to get around Wilson. Won't work. Takes it to the corner. Marouk trying to play it around. Hartsburg has trouble. It's centered. Beaupre robs Wickenheiser. Boy, Beaupre has been sensational. Here's Bellows. Turned aside by Norwood. Backhands one. Bourgeois intercepts. Headmans it for Hunter. Now a pass for Gilmore just fails to click. Gilmore checked by Bellows. Wickenheiser centers that hit a skate. And Marouk carries it to the line. His pass hit Hunter. He got it right back. Marouk. Now to Bellows. Marouk is tied up. Bellows shoots and it hit Pavis. And the loose puck in the corner is finally kicked free by Hunter and then cleared out of there, but no icing. Bellows had no one to pass to because Marouk had been tackled by Ramage away from the puck.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there was no penalty there. Morrell was skating right behind him on the play and didn't call it, but it's obvious he's not going to call anything right now. A goal by the North Stars is definitely going to be hard-earned at this point.
Boy, there's a man, Beaupre, who kept the North Stars in the game early in the first couple, 3-4 minutes, I would say, before the North Stars finally popped for a goal at 7:09. And he has come up large again here in the third period.
A cross-ice pass to Wickenheiser, who was left all alone. And you saw Beaupre stack the pads and sliding across to make that block.
4:04 left in period 3. And the fans start to come to life again. 13,600 strong. And look at all the colorful clothing. You can tell how warm it's been here. Draw back to the blue line. Pavis keeping it in. Deflects to Brott. He tips it to the line. Reeds intercepts. Backhands it in. Nice game by Mark Reeds. I think I've already said that, but he really has played well. Now Roberts. Giles in the corner. Tip to center ice. Here's Pavis again. Loose puck to Roberts, but it's offside as Roberts and Mahar tangle.
Mahar has played a good physical series. Been right in there forechecking. Gordy Roberts has had a strong series himself, being more offensive-minded. He pointed that out in our first intermission interview with Gordy. Breaking in a little bit more, as Hartsburg has been doing, as Giles has been doing, trying to create some extra offensive chances.
Broughton against Mahar, and the puck comes back to Norwood. Norwood throwing it around. It took a hop off the boards right to Roberts. Check from behind. The loose puck at the red center line. Grabbed by Giles. Nice pass to Broughton. Took a hit. Knocked down. The loose puck is grabbed by Cavallini. He plays it to center. Lawton came back quickly. Lawton skating very well in periods 2 and 3. Cicerelli now to Giles. 3:10 to go in regulation. Giles throwing it in from center. They wave it off. At least they wave off the icing. Lawton is checked. Broughton trying to dig it free. Broughton hit by Mahar. Cicerelli shoots it through the crease. Wilson challenged by Cavallini.
Oh, come on.
And Barr carries it to center ice. 3-on-1. Barr centering it, and it hopped away from Cavallini. Now Wilson with 2:40 in regulation. Here's Acton. McKechnie's in the slot. Acton centers it. It got behind McKechnie. Graham playing it back around. And Pavis shot it to the line, but not out. Bouncing in front for Graham, and Millen swats it away. Now 2:20 to go in regulation. McKechnie checked. Acton has it. Graham to Hartsburg. Wilson, slap shot. Millen, a glove save.
And right in front of Millen, Graham and Ramage picked themselves off the ice. Graham was literally tackled by Ramage. Morrell is just not calling a thing, and I can't believe he didn't call that one when Ronnie Wilson was spun around. You've got to call those kinds of things because that changes the force of play. Watch here. North Stars have it. You think that Wilson is going to deliberately take a dump right there? There's no way. The Blues break out 3-on-1, then they darn near score a goal. Morrell's got to be more consistent. I know there's a different set of rules in the playoffs, and maybe you don't let as much or call as much in the late stages of the third, but when they're that flagrant, you've got to call them. It changes the momentum totally.
The series has been like that from the opening faceoff back on Wednesday night. 2:08 to go in the third period. Gilmore and Acton. False drop of the puck will do it again. Shots 31 aside. And here we go. Draw to the corner. Norwood got a stick on it over to Bourgeois. Hartsburg intercepts. Hartsburg shoots a stick save by Millen. Graham a shot high. And it caroms back to the near boards where it's kept in by Wilson. But it hopped out of play, deflected, and they're going to face it off. I thought Morrell said in the zone.
Hartsburg,
yes, Morrell did say in the zone, but by just a couple of inches.
Hartsburg had a little run in there with his counterpart wearing number 4, Charlie Bourgeois, as Hartsey heads to the bench on a lineup change. It's been a good working game. You know, I think the North Stars have worked hard. I don't think they've been outworked in this game. St. Louis created some breaks of their own, and we're seeing much more offense out of St. Louis than we had in the first 2 games. In fact, St. Louis has equaled their goal output of the first 2 games.
Here's Giles. Working hard. He's given a solid jolt by Pavis. Roberts comes in deep. Blues player Federico tripped up. No call there either. Hunter shooting. A rocket goes high. 90 seconds to go in regulation time, and the Blues have a 1-goal lead. Ramage. Now to Hunter. Checked away by Roberts. Flipping it in for Maruk, and it's batted out by Pavis. We'll keep an eye on Beaupre. Giles now to Roberts. Roberts for Lawton, and it went off his stick into the corner. Lawton ridden off the play by Ramage. And the puck hops out of play. Well, we want to pass on a huge thanks to our director tonight, Mike Harvath from Laclede Communications. Did a whale of a job getting us ready for tonight's game. Studio coordinator Randy Weil. And our satellite facilities by Hughes Television Network.
Final score, Toronto 7, Chicago 2. The Leafs are in the Norris Division Finals. Monumental upset in that series.
Going to be a bitter pill to swallow in Chicago this year. And the North Stars have called their timeout.
Well, it's got to be all offense now. The advantage, Frank, that the North Stars have is the fact that the faceoff is coming up in the St. Louis zone. It is a critical one that they have to win, get control. I'm sure we're going to see Lauren Henning have his guys go to the net, try and put at least 2, maybe 3 guys out in front there, and just get some shots. As many as they can in this final 109.
Watch the spirited Demers directing traffic.
2 excellent coaches in this series, and I think 2 prime coaches in Coach of the Year awards. 2 prime candidates is what I'm trying to spit out. But
Demers has been passed over the last couple of years in favor of Brian Murray and Mike Keenan. 2 outstanding coaches, there's no doubt about that. But Demers, I have said many times, has done more with less than probably any coach in the league. And we'll
see how the voting goes this year on whether Henning gets it or perhaps Demers again. We'll see. You can tell they're having a good time here at St. Louis. Looked like in the middle of the second period that the series was going to be over with one more Minnesota goal. And I really kind of meant series when I said that, even though we're still in game 3. But the Blues came back, scored late in the second, early in the third. We have 1:09 left in regulation. The North Stars have pulled Beaupre, Bellows, Marouk, Ciccarelli, Broughton, Hartsburg, Wilson up front for this faceoff. Draw to the North Stars, but they rule a false draw. We'll do it again. That ate up 1 second on the clock. Now they're a little edgy again. Leon Stickle, the veteran linesman. North Stars win the draw. Wilson, a shot, a rebound is loose, but swept away by Reeds. And the Blues work at the center. A minute to go. Wickenheiser has an open net. He shoots it wide, and it's grabbed by Wilson. Now Marouk goes down, but he's all right, and Ciccarelli hauls it to center. Ciccarelli checked by Wickenheiser, whose pass or shot was intercepted by Marouk, who barges into the zone. Reeds tries to clear. 40 seconds to go, and the puck slides ahead for Mahar, but it was broken up by Bellows. It's centered by Broughton and cleared away and out of the zone. 30 seconds left. Wilson to Marouk, driving it in. Knocked down by Millen. Ciccarelli hustles for it. Here's Bellows, centering it. He was checked from behind. Poked at by Federico. 14 seconds left. Now Hartsburg shooting it, went wide. Ciccarelli, a slap shot. Hit traffic in front. 4 seconds left, but play had been called. 5 seconds actually left on the clock.
Closest play was when Marouk fired. And Dino was on the doorstep, but just a little bit too deep as he was being pushed away by Rob Ramage. And it's just 5 seconds. Boy, you got to win this face-off and pull it back. The Blues have called a timeout.
Bellows with one arm around Ron Wilson discussing strategy at the very lower left of your screen. They break up and head over to the bench. Now they're going to have to reset the clock. I'm not sure why. There were 5 seconds left. Now they're putting 7 seconds left.
Well, it was so noisy in here, I think Morrell blew his whistle, and the penalty timekeeper did not hear it. Game timekeeper. Millen, you see, a little irate at the fact that 2 seconds have been added to the clock. 2 seconds can loom awful large.
The timekeeper, by the way, is from Pittsburgh, as are the other minor officials. And now the Blues timeout is officially recorded, and it will start now. Acton talking to Morrell as you look at Henning getting a little animated himself. Can it be done? Of course it can. 5 seconds. There's a look at Bart Plager, a man who has been an inspiration himself to this St. Louis franchise and this hockey club this year and last. Man battling a battle against an inoperable brain tumor. Hasselstein talking to Demers. High drama here at the arena. 7 seconds left. The North Stars have Willie Pledon. You know where he's going to be. Right in front of the net. Bellows, Ciccarelli, Marouk, Broughton, Wilson. North Stars have pulled the goaltender. 6 skaters to 5. 7 seconds left, and the Blues have a 1-goal lead. Here we go.
Positioning so important. Marouk is going to try and draw it back to Ciccarelli for his blast.
Marouk wins the draw. Wilson, slap shot, wide and not by much. Rebounds to the blue line, but the horn goes. And the Blues win this game and take a 2-1 lead in the series. A jubilant
bunch of St. Louis players who are down 3-1 and win this one 4-3. Well, there's always tomorrow, and that's going to be an important day for the North Stars, who will have to win not only tomorrow, but Tuesday night as well at the Met Center. All right, we'll be back with a wrap-up on tonight's game after this timeout. The Blues win it 4-3. Back in a moment. Disappointing is one way to describe the loss here tonight by the North Stars against the Blues in the third game of this series. Certainly a disappointment, even though they gave up first goal. The North Stars came back to take a 3-1 lead in the hockey game, and then watched that dissolve as the Blues picked up steam in the latter part of the second period and never let up.
Well, they did. They came out, I think, maybe surprising the North Stars with their offense. We saw more offense out of the Blues tonight than we had seen in the last two games, Frank, combined. And it worked. I think they caught the North Stars by surprise, used it to their advantage. Maybe Minnesota let up a little bit there when they had the 3-1 lead. The Blues got that late second period goal. I think that was a turning point of the hockey game. It gave them a new lift. They went into the dressing room, and they came out with 2 goals here in the third to cap it off.
That late second period goal was scored by Pozlowski, his second of the game. And the 2 goals they scored in the third period were scored by Bernie Federko. And the last one, of course, was the game winner.
Well, it was a great play. The Blues breaking up the middle. Ramage seeing Federko as the North Stars defense was pinching in. Federko going in and going right for the 5-hole off of Beaupre's pad and into the net. That goal coming at 7:57. So they had to go another 12 minutes trying to hold the North Stars at bay, and that's a big task in itself.
Okay, to take a look at the scoring summary on those 2 goals in the third period, as we mentioned, both by Federko. First one assisted by Ramage and Pavis at 27 seconds, and that tied the game. Then he gave them a 4-3 lead from Norwood and Hunter at 7:57. Shots in the third period for the Blues, 8, the North Stars 11. Game totals, St. Louis 31 and the North Stars 32. Back with a look ahead at tomorrow night's game after this timeout.
This has been a KITN TV Sports presentation. Minnesota North Stars Hockey. Televised exclusively in the Twin Cities on KITN TV, Channel 29. Live from the arena, this has been the Minnesota North Stars and the St. Louis Blues in Game 3 of the Norris Division semifinal. Brought to you by Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi takes you where you want to be. Republic Airlines, the only airline that gives you perks. You've earned them. Your Twin Cities CarX shop, because CarX cares. Anderson Windows. Come home to quality. Come home to Anderson. Sprite, the great taste of Limon. And by Champion Auto Stores. From start to finish, you'll win with Champion Auto Stores.